And a second line to the Superdome. It's the Damon Bruce Show, live from Radio Row in New Orleans, site of Super Bowl 47, where the 49ers seek the 6th on KNBR 1050.
Welcome back to the Damon Bruce Show, and unfortunately he's not in person, but on the phone as long as we make that connection like Flutie to Phelan. It is Doug Flutie joining us here on the Damon Bruce Show. Doug, thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How you doing down there?
Doing fantastic. Hey, you know, I cover the 49ers on a San Francisco radio station, but I did grow up a Bears fan and in upstate New York, always pulling for the Buffalo Bills, and I got friends who went to BC. So needless to say, I've talked about you quite a bit in my life, Doug. It's nice to chit-chat with you.
Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a fun run. I was all over the place. I couldn't stay in one place for very long, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, I tell you, I have always argued that Doug Flutie is one of the most poorly used NFL commodities. I thought that you were someone who was evaluated by the perception, by the lack of height, more than your actual production. And now that we see a quarterback like Russell Wilson have so much success. And by the way, the lovely voice that you hear is my good friend Bonnie Jill Laughlin, who's sitting around with us today, Doug. But, do you feel that the play of Russell Wilson is going to open up the minds to scouts now that all the measurables is not what the position is about?
I think so, but you would think that would have happened in the past. Drew Brees is only right at 6 foot. There have been a number of guys right around 6 foot. Russell's probably 5'11". I think it's more of a skill set. It's the athletic quarterback that's really coming into play now. You have the ability to run some zone read and take off and run, make the defense defend the quarterback. But, having those legs, being athletic, isn't enough. You still need to be able to throw the ball, and Russell Wilson has a big-time arm, even though he's only 5'11".
Well, and, in a way, Russell Wilson from Seattle and Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco both really burst on the scene this year. Wilson had the whole year to do it in his rookie year. In his second year, we saw Kaepernick break into the lineup and not let go of the starting job. When you look at Colin Kaepernick, does he remind you of anyone, or is he really a breed unto himself?
He's very unique. I mean, he's maybe a Randall Cunningham, sort of, because he's long and lanky and has a big arm as well as the ability to take off and run. He's a sprinter. Boy, you saw him take off in that Green Bay game. But, what amazed me was he starts it off with an interception return for a touchdown. He's a young kid, and that could have just sent him in, tanked. And he didn't. He turned around and wound up having a phenomenal game and leading them all the way now to the Super Bowl. And there's just a whole other skill set now that's playing the quarterback position and opening up the game. Defenses are going to have to learn how to defend the quarterback taking off.
Doug Flutie here on the Damon Bruce Show. The read option, the spread option. Is this going to be a wildcat here today, sort of gone tomorrow, NFL wrinkle? Or do you think that it's an actual sustainable offense that a team with the right players could build around and it might be the future of the NFL, or do you think it's a passing fancy?
Oh, no, I think it's the future. I think it's what we did in Canada for years, spreading people out, make them defend the whole field. Then when they spread out to cover you, the quarterback taking off and running is just such a big weapon. And it's using all your tools that are at your disposal on offense instead of tampering and babying your quarterback. Now, the big issue is all the money being spent at the quarterback position. Do you want your quarterback getting hit? We've seen Tim Tebow running the football a bunch, but he was a big, strong kid, but he couldn't throw the ball. And now all of a sudden RG3's running, and he's nicked up a couple of different times throughout the year. How healthy can these kids stay carrying the football and rushing for 100 yards a game?
Heisman Trophy winner, Doug Flutie joining us here. And when you close your eyes, are you a Boston College quarterback, an NFL quarterback, or a CFL quarterback when you dream at night?
I think I picture me at Buffalo days.
The Mighty Buddy Buffalo days.
I think that, you picture, for me, it was thrown to Eric Moles. He was the most dynamic receiver I ever played with. and some of the balls that I threw to him and his ability to go up and get it. You need one of those guys, you know, Randy Moss in his prime, one of those guys that dictates coverage, and if they decide they're going to leave him one-on-one, you're going to put it up no matter what and let him make a play. When you have one of those guys, it opens up the whole offense, and that's what we had going when I was in Buffalo.
How many boxes of Flutie Flakes did you actually eat? Do you still have any around?
Oh, we've got a ton of them around. We've got a bunch of flat boxes with no cereal in them, and I did eat it. I tell you what, my wife loved them. She loved them as a snack straight out of the box. They were great. They really were.
Hey, tell me a little bit about...
That's why they sold. The kids in the New York area, upstate New York, the kids were eating the cereal. It wasn't just the novelty of getting them autographed or a collectible or a souvenir. There was actually a decent cereal.
Hey, you know, we see Mark Trestman come back to the NFL from the CFL. What immediately translates from one league to the next? Or is it just football? I thought it'd be funny if Trestman ran every single play wide of the out-of-bounds line and ran every end zone play, like, beyond the field goal, just to mess with everyone during the first practice.
Hey, I'm worried about his defensive line. Defensive line in the CFL has to line up a yard off the ball. So, I mean, defenses are different. It's going to be a challenge for him. I really think it's going to be a challenge. There's a lot of unique things to the CFL game and a lot of things that just don't carry over. Now, it is football. It's still blocking, tackling, scheming, and all that. But I'll tell you what, even situationally, it's only 3-down football up there. So you're punting on third. So you're just dealing with first and second down. You're not dealing with the third down scenarios you have in the NFL are second down scenarios up there. But there's a whole different thing, a whole different way of calling plays, a whole different way of playing defense. I see a lot of possible headaches.
Again, I think he should punt on third down first preseason game just to mess with everybody and then say, I'm kidding. Doug, you appear courtesy of the Capital One Cup, and my alma mater in your fall standings, Indiana University, is sitting second, I read. So tell me a little bit about the Capital One Cup.
Indiana's sitting there right at second place right now. They're not even in the basketball season yet. The results aren't in from hoops, so maybe they'll make a run. Alabama's leading, Indiana second, North Dakota State third in the men's side. North Carolina and Penn State are leading in the women's side. Capital One Cup, basically, it rewards the best Division I athletic program across the board, cumulative on-field performances. It culminates in the spring with the College World Series. You get points for, especially championships, carry a lot of weight. And after the College World Series, the winners are announced at ESPYs, and $400,000 in scholarships are given away for men's and women's programs.
Well, hey, Doug, really appreciate talking to you. Thanks so much for coming on by. I hope to see the hair in person next year during the Super Bowl. I really do. Fabulous hair.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you very much. Doug Flutie here on the Damon Bruce Show. Bonnie, good guy. I liked him.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I played with him in the Celebrity Beach Bowl for DirecTV, and it's so funny. Even though when you retire, he still has that competitive nature. Like, he was really intense.
Right. Everything's
it's a flag football game.
Everything's normal until they take that 3-step drop and look for their target, and all of a sudden the football player comes right back.
Yeah,
right?
He was yelling at people. You got to catch that. And I'm like, wow, this is like serious.
How'd you do in that game? Did you win or lose?
We won.
There you go.
It was fun.
There you go.
A lot of fun.
We have a win-or-lose situation possibly riding on the foot of David Akers. And if you looked at him last year,
he's been our Achilles heel.
A lot of confidence. Look at him this year, no confidence. He's got bad body language.
But that double sports hernia, that's...
I'm surprised Harbaugh didn't make another decision. We're going to talk about the importance of kicking with a guy who knows quite a bit about it. Morton Anderson is supposed to join us next here on the Damon Bruce Show.